Hi, and welcome again to another seminar discussion on the wonderful world of antique pump organs. Hi, I'm Rod Fudge from pumporganrestorations.com. This is another in a series of video seminars that I've been doing on all things pump organ. Now, one of the most popular questions that I have is, does my pump organ have ivory keys? Fair question. If you have an ivory key, there will be a hairline crack where the neck of the key, of the natural, the white key, joins the forward portion. A hairline crack. That will indicate to you that that is a ivory key. Now, prior to the American Civil War, 1861, most pump organs were built with ivory keys. After the Civil War, especially after about 1870, they did not. After the Civil War, slavery was abolished. Ivory used to come into this country on a lot of slave ships, and so it was plentiful. But after the Civil War, and with the conclusion of slavery, they became kind of scarce. And actually, there wasn't really a market that much for them. And the industry, both piano and pump organ, came up with a material. Actually, it was made for false teeth. It was called, well, after the pump organ and the piano industry put their 2 cents on it, they called it ivorine, spin-off from ivory, ivorine. So the wide majority of keys that are on pump organs after, say, the 1870s are ivorine, not ivory. Okay, let's go on to, another question that I get. Underneath the keyboard, there are the 2 levers, left and right. These are designed so when you're sitting, you have your knees between these 2 levers, and thus they're called knee levers. Now, the lever on the right, if you move it to the right at a particular point in time while you're playing the organ, it will open up the sound louvers, both front and back, and will give you all of the sound volume that the organ is capable of giving. So as you're going along through the music, you reach a point where you really want to give it some punch, move your right knee, the louvers open, and you've got your sound. Now that can also be generated with the stops or knobs that you pull out. Typically there is a knob on that range of stops, one for the back sound louver and another knob for the front louver. Now, this fellow on the left here, this is what I call a crescendo lever. When you move your left knee over, this engages everything that the organ can do. It would be like pulling out all the stops, and thus is the birthplace of the term pulling out all the stops regarding, gee, they gave a wonderful performance. They really pulled out all the stops. That's where that comes from the 1870s, 1880s. You pull out all the stops and you just give a ton of sound. So by moving the lever to the left, that will give you everything that the organ can give you, both sound-wise and indeed as pulling out all the stops, as well as engaging both the bass coupler and the right coupler, treble coupler. And I'll be, in another video discussion, get into the couplers and what they do. Okay, it's not on the list, but I want to touch on most pump organs after the Civil War, typically this type, which is overwhelming popularity. They have 5 octaves of keys, or 61 keys, or 5 octaves. Some will have an extra octave, a 6th octave. Probably one pump organ in 10 will have 6 octaves, but most will have 5. Okay, let's go to, we've done that, yellow keys. Now, going back for a second to these white keys, the naturals. In most cases, because 100+ years has passed, it is fairly common for these keys to be anywhere from a light brown to a dark tan, and worse. Now, when they came from the factory, they were snow white, and they also had a sheen to them. Not unlike if you had a piano today, typically snow white, and it has a sheen to them. And when I restore my pump organs, I restore them back to they are snow white and they have a sheen. In order to establish a sheen, I do not spray a lacquer or varnish or something like that on it. That's not the way they did it originally. But when the organ comes back to the owner after restoration, they are looking the same way as they did the day they left the factory, snow white and with a natural sheen to them. Okay, I'll have to do that one another day, not Voxofauna. Missing stop faces. On the stops or knobs, there are round discs, white, typically made out of the same material, ivorine. And they will have a variety of different labeling, different names, typically done in a form of Old English. Now, some people will call, or well, they won't call anymore, but they email. Interesting, let me pause for a second about no, they don't call anymore. I used to have my phone number on my website, and I would get at least a dozen phone calls a day from people saying, do you want my pump organ? Or what is it worth? Or where can I sell it? Any number of things. It was hard. Not only that, I was getting calls 7 days a week, any time of the day and night, 10, 11 o'clock at night, because people would be calling from different parts of the world, South Africa, Australia, get in different time zones. They're calling in a different day. So I had to take the phone off the phone number. I even had an 800 number too. Had to take that off as well. So if you're on my website, you'll just see a way to reach me is through email. And that's the reason why the phone number is not there. Okay, okay. I'll get an email every now and then, someone who has been seeing these video discussions. They'll say, why does someone who deals in pump organs have metal pipe organ pipes as a background? Good question. These are not metal. These are wood. However, when I restore them, they're restored so they look like they're metal. These are decorative, very common on larger 2 or 3 manual pump organs, typically. These are the bigger organs that most people aren't familiar with. This is a rack, ornamental rack off of a large Esty 3 manual pump organ. And I restored for a customer, and they said, don't send this, we don't want it, we don't like it. Okay, so I kept it. They said, it's yours. Let's see, Vox Humana, we'll have to do that at another time. This is just a comment of appreciation. I get things that are sent to me by way of appreciation or thank you or whatever for what I do, I guess. These are music boxes. And did I knock something off? Oh no, tricky. This slides in here. Well, it's supposed to stop. It does. So I get these music boxes. They are pump organs. They come from all over the world. This one happens to be a napkin holder. That's a pump organ. This, of course, this is also a music box. If I were to wind this thing up, it would play It's a Small, Small World. Appropriate song for that. So again, many thanks for those who send these in. These are just some of the collection I have. In addition, I have this is from a dollhouse collection. What is it? Charm bracelets. I get some of those pump organ. Some of them are silver, very nice, as well as pendants too. Okay, wooden pipes, we've covered that. No more pumping. I'll get into that in another video, but there are pump organ owners that do not want to be bothered with pumping the organ. And if that is the case, there is a small device, a suction unit with an impella inside, that can be put in the back of the organ, sometimes in place of the large bellow in the back, and a switch is installed underneath the keyboard, typically here out of sight, and it takes the place, it's a suction unit, and it takes the place of you operating the foot pedals, especially for those who have reached a point in life where their knees and legs aren't quite like they used to. And if you play a couple of songs with a pump organ and if your legs aren't in good shape, you're gonna tire pretty quickly. I'll be getting into that, where you can get it. That's on my website, but I'll have a couple of these units here to show you. There's only one manufacturer in the country. Out in, I think it's Iowa, but I'll have that information again. That's all on my website. By the way, here's a here's a little commercial announcement, I guess, or plug, if you will. There is an association, an international association, called the Reed Organ Society. Not very big, but there is a society, and you can join that society. And if you go to reedorgansociety.org, that webpage will come up, and there are the majority of people who are members of the Reed Organ Society don't play pump organs. Many don't own a pump organ. Some do, but they're just boosters. They're just pro pump organ. They think it's a wonderful musical instrument, which it is. So again, just $30 a year. In addition to that, every quarter you get a magazine from the Reed Organ Society. Again, it's international. There's a directory that you'll be getting, and that will list members all over the world who are members of the Reed Organ Society. There's no mug or anything like that. Low profile, very, very small, but for those who might be interested, would like to get involved with the Reed Organ Society, reedorgansociety.org on your internet. I think that's probably all we'll do today. Knee levers, ivory keys, we've done that. We can do that another time, no more pumping. Yellow keys, we've done that. Vox Humana. Now that's something I'll cover at another video. It's a unit in the back. Most pump organs have them. And they'll have, if you open up the back, if you have a back panel to take off, a lot of pump organs don't have one. There is a unit that sits flat, long, has two fins on a dowel. And when engaged with a stop in the front of the organ, called Vox Humana. Vox Humana is Latin for human voice. Humana, vox, voice box. And what it does when you engage it, there's a little, like a windmill thing inside, and it spins through suction. And these fins spin, and they give a vibrato sound to the pump organ sound. And interesting, over the years, I have never found one customer that really liked and used the Vox Humana. It's a different sound, and it was popular back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Not so today. The French, I think, would enjoy that, because the French tend to have some of their singers of vibrato, very pronounced vibrato singing. But that's the Vox Humana. I'll have some that I'll be showing. They're basically one type. And another item we'll be talking about is some bass pipes, bass reeds. I beg your pardon. Bass reeds that can also appear in the back of on that flat area. Most pump organs don't have that. Many do, though, and we'll be getting into that. So I think that's about it. Appreciate your time and watching. I hope this has been informative. And so until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.